Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at noon.
Good afternoon. It is Wednesday, June 14th. Thank you for watching News 8 Now. I'm Sophia Pullman. Let's jump right into the news this afternoon. Following his historic arraignment on federal charges related to his alleged mishandling of U.S. national security secrets, former president and 2024 Republican candidate Donald Trump told a crowd of supporters that he had every right to have the documents. Christian Benvenides reports from Miami.
More importantly, it's a political persecution like something straight out of a fascist or a communist nation.
Speaking to supporters in New Jersey hours after he pleaded not guilty in a Florida courtroom to 37 felony counts, former President Donald Trump called the federal charges against him fake and suggested outgoing presidents can take with them any records they want.
Under the Presidential Records Act, which is civil, not criminal, I had every right to have these documents.
Legal experts tell CBS News the act draws a distinction between personal and presidential records, requiring all official records to be turned over. This is the first time the Justice Department has ever charged a former president with a crime. Those charges include allegedly retaining classified documents illegally and trying to hide them from Justice Department investigators after receiving a subpoena.
You really could be seeing serious jail time if he is convicted.
Fellow GOP presidential hopefuls reacted to the indictment.
I can't defend what is alleged, but the former president has a right to his day in court.
I don't think that most Republicans support the conduct that's detailed in that indictment. It's reckless. It's harmful to American national security.
Trump promised to appoint a special prosecutor to go after President Biden and his family if Trump wins back the White House. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
The judge said Trump is now barred from talking to Walt Nauta, his co-defendant and aide, about the case, and he was told to not engage with potential witnesses. Let's send it over to Derek for our Wednesday forecast.
All right, thanks for that, Sophia. Just getting word now that an air quality alert has been issued across much of the Cooley region, as you can see there on the graphic behind me. And so basically, if you are outside, make sure to take it easy, especially those of you that fall under the category of sensitive groups, and try to limit your time outside. And of course, that is all thanks to the Canadian wildfire smoke that is moving through, and this is in effect until 12 p.m. tomorrow, by the way. Our current temperatures are into the 70s and 80s, 79 in Winona, 82 in La Crosse, 80 currently in Eau Claire, 78 in Viroqua, 82 is the temperature down in Boscobel. And overall, we do have mostly clear skies right now on the satellite picture, and we expect conditions to pretty much for the most part remain that way through at least 3 o'clock. Now, there could be a slight chance of a shower or two, but other than that, just a very warm day with those highs into the mid-80s under a mainly sunny day. And again, that slight chance of a shower is possible. We will have those west to northwesterly wind breezes at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. I did mention the Canadian wildfire smoke. I'll talk a lot more about that coming up in the full weather forecast in just a few minutes. Sophia?
Thanks, Derek. Continuing with the news today, day 3 of the trial is underway for a man charged in connection to a 2021 triple homicide. 35-year-old Nia Tao is facing 3 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. Tao, along with 45-year-old Kameneth Ratanasak, are accused of shooting and killing 3 men over a $600 debt. This morning, a key witness took the stand and testified she was at the quarry on County Highway M where the shooting took place. The witness said that Ratanasak handed the gun to Tao, who shot 24-year-old Peng Lor and Nemo Yang and 23-year-old Trevor Maloney. She stated she was afraid she would also be charged with murder, but went to the police because it was the right thing to do. During the cross-examination, the defense argued the witness had sex with Ratanasak and was scared of him. The defense stated the witness also deleted evidence from her phone that tied her to Ratanasak. They also introduced a phone call recording of the witness stating Tao would never kill her. News 8 Now will have updates on the trial later today. You can watch a live stream of the trial on News8000.com. Despite increases in interest rates, home prices are still on the rise. It's a trend the Federal Reserve is trying to slow, and apartment developers are banking on. News 8 Now's Michael Germain explains.
Driving the roads around La Crosse, and you're bound to notice all the work going on. Latest is a 72-unit apartment complex wrapping up construction on the north side.
We have the fitness center, we have the fire table, the grill.
The 5th Ward Residencies on St. Cloud Street is about to open the next phase in their $26 million development. The emphasis is on luxury, and thanks to the rise in interest rates for home buyers, they're not worried about staying empty for long.
The value that La Crosse as a whole has, I think people love the community and love the area, and I think that's why we've had such good demand.
The president of the La Crosse Area Realtors Association agrees.
With the housing market right now, if the inventory is low, people will choose to rent until the market or the supply catches up with the demand.
And as long as interest rates continue to rise, so will the demand for rental units.
If they have refinanced or purchased in the last few years at the very favorable rates, they're a little bit less likely to let go of their current or existing interest rate.
Giving a green light to places like the 5th Ward to keep building. In La Crosse, Michael Germain, News 8 Now.
The construction at the apartment complex is expected to be wrapped up by September. Extra volunteers from around the country are helping out at a Habitat for Humanity project in Arcadia. Caravanners is a habitat program full of RV travelers. The group plans stops at Habitat work sites while on trips across the country. This is the group's second time stopping in the area after coming to help with the project last June.
We move at different speeds, of course, but we pick up whatever's situation or whatever, however they are, whatever level they are on the construction.
The group will be helping the La Crosse Area Habitat for the next few weeks. If you would like to donate or volunteer, we'll have information posted on our website. Registration is open for a day of adaptive water skiing in La Crosse. The River City Water Show Ski Team and the North American Squirrel Association are holding 2 ski days this summer. The first is this Friday. There are multiple ski sessions, each with a max of 6 participants. We'll post more information about signing up on our website. Coming up after the break, why experts are saying check fraud is making a comeback. Your consumer news is just ahead. Stay with us. In our consumer news this afternoon, stocks climbed for the second day in a row on Tuesday. The same day, the Federal Reserve kicked off its monthly meeting. The Dow soared 145 points, the Nasdaq rose 111 points, and the S&P 500 gained 30 points. CBS News' Courtney Keeley has the latest business news headlines from New York.
The Labor Department says the Consumer Price Index grew at an annual rate of just 4% in May, the slowest pace in more than 2 years. Experts say the cooling inflation shows the Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes are working. New data also shows gas prices are down $1.42 per gallon compared to this time last year, pushing down overall energy costs. Amazon Web Services is back up and running after an outage yesterday affected thousands of users. Publishers like the Associated Press were unable to operate their website, while The Verge reports apps for fast food chains, Taco Bell, and McDonald's were also down due to the outage. The company says the problem was caused by its AWS Lambda function, which lets customers run code on different applications. And check fraud is on the rise again. The Financial Crimes Enforcement Network says banks made around 680,000 reports of check fraud last year, nearly double the total from the previous year. Officials are now warning Americans to avoid mailing checks or, if possible, use a secure mail drop like those inside the post office. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Courtney Keeley.
That's it for your afternoon consumer news. As we head to break, here's a live look at the New York Stock Exchange. Stay with us. More news is next. In our medical news this afternoon, an early breast
only a quarter of drug treatment centers for teens offer the key medication for opioid addiction, buprenorphine. Researchers at Oregon Health and Science University called 160 facilities around the country. They found just 39 provided the treatment, which is also known by the brand name Suboxone. Scientists hope a new law passed last year that allows doctors to prescribe it more easily will increase access. People who get migraines are at greater risk for having a certain type of stroke. Additionally, the study out of Denmark found women migraine sufferers may also have a slightly greater chance of having a heart attack. The findings suggest migraines, which are predominantly diagnosed in women, impact them more than for men. And now some good news for women. Most who get diagnosed early for breast cancer become long-term survivors. According to a study in the BMJ, the average risk of dying from breast cancer in the 5 years after an early diagnosis has fallen since the 1990s from 14% to just 5%. The study, though, does not pinpoint a reason for the decline. More than 2 million women worldwide get an early breast cancer diagnosis each year. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
That's it for our medical news today. Here is a look at CityCam 8. Derek is in next with our forecast.
Well, it sure is a nice sunny start here to the afternoon, as you can see behind me from CityCam 8 in downtown La Crosse. Here's a check on those current conditions in La Crosse, too. 82 degrees with that sunshine, maybe a degree cooler, but that's about it. Downtown at 81 degrees. Winds are light at 3 miles an hour. Conditions to the north in Eau Claire also looking sunny with temperatures at 80 degrees. North-northwest winds light at 6 miles an hour. And as far as our current temperatures stand across the area, mainly into those upper 70s. Some of us here into the low 80s right now, but you can see some of the cool spots like Sparta at 77 degrees. Sparta or Winona toward the west is at 79, and our forecast highs today are not quite done warming up just yet. We should reach the mid-80s. Some spots like La Crosse could reach a high of around 88 degrees this afternoon. 83 and sunny around the 1 o'clock hour, 86 and mostly sunny at 3 p.m. and then a little bit of a drizzle is possible at 5 p.m. and we'll keep those slight drizzle chances in the forecast through at least early this evening. But as of right now, though, things are very dry across the area. We are tracking a cold front here that is continuing to slowly make its way across the Coulee region, and along the frontal boundary we could be looking at those slight chances of drizzle here, but other than that it's just really going to bring us some drier air behind it, and also a bit of some hazy weather, which we'll get to here in a second. High pressure towards the north is going to extend its way down to the south here too behind that front, and that should allow dry and sunny weather conditions to once again take shape as we head throughout the day tomorrow, and also into tomorrow night. Things are still looking mainly dry and clear. So let's talk about some of that haze, because behind the front we get a wind shift out of the north, and you can see a whole bunch of smoky conditions are going to overlay the skies here, starting with the Chippewa Valley as we head into this afternoon around 5 p.m. And all of that hazy and smoky conditions will continue to work their way down to the south as the front continues to push its way across the area. And as we head into tomorrow morning, it could be a little bit on the hazy side, but I am thinking that as the day goes on tomorrow, especially by tomorrow night, we should be looking at much clearer weather conditions, and thankfully the haze should move out of here once we get the change in wind directions again here for later tomorrow. Here's a check on your 8-day forecast. So after again that hazy day tomorrow, it will be a little bit better here on Friday, mostly sunny, 84 degrees, with a high of 86 on Saturday. Father's Day Sunday looks okay. It's going to be a little on the cloudy side, but temperature's pretty warm with a high of about 88. Highs in the upper 80s to even the low 90s as we head into early to mid next week. Lows in the 60s, and overall pretty dry weather conditions around here.
Warm weather can stay.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Derek. Coming up after the break, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Today we celebrate the official spirit of America. More news after the break.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Today is Flag Day, a day to honor the American flag, Old Glory, and remember that we are one country united with liberty and justice for all. The Second Continental Congress adopted the first U.S. national flag on this date in 1777. It had the same 13 red and white alternating stripes we see on our flag today, which are also the original 13 colonies. The design of our current American flag has remained the same since 1960. Some ways that you can celebrate Flag Day: fly your American flags high this week. Bottoms up. Wednesday is National Bourbon Day. You can celebrate America's official spirit by mixing up a bourbon-based cocktail or hosting a bourbon tasting party. So what makes whiskey a bourbon? Well, it must be distilled in the U.S., be made from a mash of at least 51% corn, distilled at no more than 160 proof, and barreled in new charred oak barrels at no higher than 125 proof. Stay with us. We'll have one more check of your forecast when we return.
Final check on your 8-day forecast for you. Highs into the upper 80s today and tomorrow. Tomorrow may be a little on the hazy side, though. We're watching the Canadian wildfire smoke moving its way south behind a front. But after that, it should clear out here after tomorrow. The rest of the week mainly dry here. Mixed sun and clouds. Again, those highs mainly into the 80s. Lows mainly into the 60s.
Thanks, Derek.
Yeah.
I'm loving the warm weather. This
I love
is
it
my
too.
favorite time of the year.
It's just we really need some rain.
We do need rain. I know. Fingers crossed. Thanks, Derek. And thank you for watching News 8 Now. You can catch us again at 5 and 6. Have a great afternoon, everyone.